Hey everybody, Small Cleaner here, back with another video for you. This one today is going to be a multi-topic video. I'm going to touch on a few things. First one is the explosion of the YangGang meme culture, the Mueller Probe, and how I think we finally have some tangible evidence now to show that it will be wrapping up very shortly. And the controversial topic of the day is Q and how Q failed. Q failed pretty spectacularly, and I don't know why, because they had something served up on a silver platter for them. But anyway, let's get right into it. And the first topic is, of course, you can see it on the screen, the YangGang and the YangGang meme culture and all that good stuff. Now, Andrew Yang is one of the Democratic candidates for 2020. He is polling at like 1%. I think he's actually now around 2% because of this meme culture going on here. Now, the whole thing about the YangGang is that it is a reaction to negativity towards Trump, especially over the past couple of weeks, because apparently it seems like Trump is going to abandon his base by forgetting about the censorship, and that he hasn't done enough to get the wall built. That is, I think, misguided, especially if it was started from a bunch of Trump supporters who were disgruntled just because he hasn't been getting the things done as quickly as they wanted him to. And I'm just like, I have to ask them that. I mean, what do you want him to do? Like, you want him to finish the wall completely 30 feet high, solid concrete in the first 4 years? Yeah, I mean, you do know that he is pretty much right now the most hated president of all time. He has so much going against him. He has to deal with this Mueller witch hunt, which I'm going to be getting to in a second. He's dealing with trade deals with North America, China, some other parts of the world. He's dealing with denuclearization of North Korea, the unstable EU, and he's got a whole bunch of ants, pretty much on social media, running around trying to say that he's a Nazi or that he's a white supremacist. So, yeah, he's got a lot on his plate, and I'm thinking that this YangGang reactionary is it's being used by many different sides, because the Democrats are trying to use it to sow division within the MAGA supporters. But it could also be said that MAGA supporters are trying to get Yang noticed so they can actually show people his crazy proposals. Yes, everybody is flaunting that UBI $1,000 meme, and it is pretty funny. These memes are pretty funny. I mean, they're trying to get this guy to be champion of the internet culture, because one of his main platforms is to regulate the tech companies, or that's supposedly one of his platforms, and that's why he's getting a lot of praise from the internet crowd and from Trump supporters, because Trump is forgetting about us. But no, he's not. Trump is, I think, working on a plan or working on something behind the scenes, because he doesn't want Silicon Valley to get wind of it and then just create new algorithms or new programs to circumvent what he wants to do. But it's a tough topic to get into. I mean, and back to Yang, like he says, he wants to regulate and crack down on the tech companies, when actually, if you actually go to his website, Millie Weaver actually did a video on this, and I went and looked on his website and found out that he actually wants to work with tech companies to make sure that misinformation does not get spread to the American people. So he wants to crack down on the fake news. So he doesn't want to regulate the tech companies. He wants to get actually more in bed with them. That's what he wants to do. So that could be why the YangGang is being pushed, because maybe it's to get that out there, to get that reality out there, that it's not that he wants to crack down on tech companies. He's saying that, when actually in reality he wants to get closer in bed with them on the federal level. So yeah, YangGang could be a black propaganda, but it could just be a reaction from the negativity to Trump. So in my opinion, the YangGang is gonna, it's gonna have, another couple weeks of fun, and then it's gonna slowly die away because people are gonna go to his website and actually read what his proposals are, and they're gonna get turned off one by one by one. So to the likes of James Alsop, come on, calm down. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Don't jump off the Trump train. Stay the course. Now, on to the next subject, and that is the Mueller Probe and how we now have some tangible evidence that hopefully it'll be wrapping up sooner rather than later. And we have two pieces of information here. First bit of information is not on the screen, but that is of the Lisa Page and Peter Strzok testimonies being released, and it actually shows a lot of damning evidence towards Obama's Department of Justice, especially when Lisa Page knows and states that Loretta Lynch's office was trying to get the FBI to not go after Hillary Clinton. So she was burying the Hillary Clinton investigation. Why do you think she had that tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton? If for anybody who's in the know, we know that tarmac meeting was not about Chelsea's wedding or the kids at all. This was about colluding and conspiring to, in the middle of an election season, to avoid any charges being brought against Hillary Clinton. And Lisa Page swore that under oath in her testimony. That's very damning. Loretta Lynch might want to get your story straight here. Another big thing that's on your screen when it comes to the Mueller probe. The top prosecutor, Andrew Weissman, Mueller's attack dog, is leaving. He's leaving the probe. Do you want to know why? Because he can't indict anybody else. The only reason why they were able to indict Cohen, indict Manafort, indict Papadopoulos, all these other people, indict Flynn, was because they were running on a very low standard of evidence. Fake evidence, like, a dossier being made up and rubber stamping it all the way through FISA. No. William Barr, who is the new Attorney General, who I dislike for different reasons, and that can be a completely different video, Ruby Ridge. But anyway, Bill Barr pretty much said, no, you actually need to have a higher standard of evidence to get an indictment. So the people who were on the chopping block, such as Don Jr., Jared Kushner, and one other person that is escaping me right now, he can't go after them. Weissman couldn't go after them, so he resigns. Mueller can't go after them because he needs a higher standard of evidence to get an indictment. So what is the point of the Mueller probe when you can't indict anybody else and you can't go after anybody? So pretty much they found Manafort, they threw out a massive net, found a money launderer, and they're going to throw him in jail for 7.5 years. Good. Good for you. But this has not found anything about Russian collusion, Russian conspiracy whatsoever, and none of it has to do with President Trump. So I do believe, in my opinion, that it's over. It's done. What is Mueller going to do? Sit around for the next few weeks and just twiddle his thumbs when he can't indict anybody else? He can't do anything to anybody else because Manafort has already been sentenced. He's already been sentenced. Cohen's already been sentenced. Papadopoulos has already spent time in jail. Roger Stone might spend maybe a couple days in jail or a week in jail or something like that. But for nothing. But for not for Russian collusion. So wrap it up. It's done and dusted. I'm going to say by May or June at the latest. Early summer, late spring, it'll be over. And I'm thinking the Democrats will want to buy their time and wait for election stuff to start ramping up so they can just quietly just get rid of that Russian collusion and just focus on the election. Because look, Nancy Pelosi just came out the other day saying it's there's no use in trying to impeach the president. I mean, what point is there? So I mean, this is done. Like, just we're done. Anyway, moving on to the final topic, which is Q. Q, Q, Q. Oh my. Hi, Kaya. Anyway, Q has failed, and failed spectacularly. And it all started a few weeks ago when Carpe Donktum had a video of his retweeted by the president. And the reason why this is important is because Carpe Donktum sent President Trump that video to a specific email Dropbox that President Trump has access to. And I assume his closest confidants and his advisors, you know. So, Carpe has this whole, like, hullabaloo. His video gets taken down, and Q has to come out and post, like, oh, connect the dots, yada, 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 and tries to insinuate that Q had something to do with the video and it's connected with Trump and how they're connected and so close to Trump. So Carpe sleuthed around and made it so he wanted to prove whether or not Q was lying or not. And he said to Q, I'm going to put another video in this Dropbox. If you guys are real, you will take it, tweet it out with the message that I left you guys, and you will still be anonymous, but we will know that you are who you are. You are close to Trump, as Q has suggested multiple times before, that they are Trump, or they're close to Trump, or they're in the immediate circle of Trump. Well, Carpe set something up for you on a silver platter where you can prove to everybody in the public that you are who you say you are, and by staying completely 100% anonymous, and you can still do the Q thing, and nobody could find out who you are. Why would Q not take that opportunity? I mean, I'm not saying, and here's the thing, Q could still be close to the president, and Q could have just chosen not to upload those videos, if Q is who they are. But why wouldn't they have done it, knowing that they could have gotten the win-win? They could have remained anonymous and had the confirmation to everybody that they are legit. Why would they rather stay in that gray area of the shadows of the internet on whether or not they are legit? It doesn't help them. It actually hurts them. So, in my opinion, it wasn't tweeted out. They aren't who they are. Q is LARPing. They might be somewhere in the government. They might even be in the White House, but they're definitely not in Trump's inner circle. They're definitely not as close as they claim to be. Otherwise, they would have tweeted that out because it would have helped them. But anyway, they left it. They dropped the ball. Q, in my opinion now, is don't trust Q. Don't trust anything Q says, because if they don't, give us a little something, why should we put all of our faith into them? Like, there are people who I know. A lot of my friends are staunch Q followers and believers, without any tangible evidence from Q of their legitimacy. So I mean, faith, like blind faith like that, I just cannot put my hat into. So Q, in my opinion, is discredited. It's failed. Nobody should be paying attention to them. Nobody should be listening to Q. And yeah, Q is just blarpers having a good time, but they're actually doing it to the detriment of the country. So either put up or shut up, but I think it's just time to shut up. All right. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. Three different things. YangGang, I think it was just a reaction to some negativity towards Trump, but I think it's going to quickly wind down into a nothing. The Mueller Probe also is going to wind down into a nothing soon, hopefully. And Q is also winding down into nothing because you had a silver platter. It was right there for you. The win-win. Didn't take it. You, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you don't take the advantages given to you, then I'm going to question your competence. So, anyway, that is the end of this video. Remember to check me out. I'm across all kinds of social medias, Gab, Minds, Swamp Cleaner there, also here on Twitter, and but I will catch you guys later. You guys have a good one.